Societas Akephalos. The Akephalos is just a Greek word for the holy guardian angel or the higher genius, whatever. Many different things to call the same thing. And I'm only active on here and on Telegram. I have a Telegram channel that's dope as shit. And it's a place for me and a few other people like myself go to deposit information and also receive information, right? I used to have a group before that I got very angry with because I thought they were doing the practices and they weren't. So, Vinny, gotta talk to you. I think I'm gonna change the group into there's adepti exempt adepti that are just working on their things. I would consider you, Shada, Jack, Orin, or Chrono. Yeah. Xenon from the group Xenon, he's cool. Ahmed's cool. But I could see him not doing the work of answering a very simple question. You'll see if you go to the group. Very simple question. I've been writing for 2 days straight about magic and mysticism. $200 probably over a book's worth of like shit. And I'm not gonna present it openly to people that aren't going to actually use it. Like what I talk about, it might sound cool. I'm not talking about it to sound cool. I don't teach this stuff because it's trendy. It used to be quite the opposite. I teach this stuff to people because when I had no mentor, no teacher, I had some guidance, but no one I could go to for stable advice. It took the better part of, I'd say, a decade to actually form my coherence of the cosmos and reality into a working thing that actually makes sense, which is the goal. You have to, like, I believe at the Magister Templi level, you write a doctorate on your own cosmology with scientific backing for the physical and then the spiritual side of it. Both sides and how it pertains to what our magical workings are, where our rituals come from, where our sayings come from, all that stuff. There's history behind that. If you're involved in this stuff and you haven't read Israel Regardie's Black Brick over like a couple times by now, you're what's called a dilettante, which is like an armchair occultist, but worse. It's someone that doesn't even really read books. You just say that you just are looking at the occult topics online with a fucking slack jaw, like you are interested in it, but there's a mental block to actually get involved in it. And I try to push my people into getting involved in it because that's where the great work comes into play. Everything else is just fucking jerking off. It's mental masturbation, dude. I do this shit for real every single day, mostly. And I've been doing that for like 7 years now. So, and then I've been studying this shit as an armchair occultist for more than 20 years. So, like, there's something I was gonna. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm just putting together like some rituals that you have to do. Uh, Unless you're an exemptist adeptee. All newcomers will have to do that shit. You will have to. And what it is it's invoking the holy guardian angel before, like, as you're a probationer or neophyte level grade, where you barely know a fucking thing, you start performing the bornless ritual. Or Liber, Samek, or the headless one ritual from the PGM Stele of Ju, the Hieroglyphicist. You take all three of those, do them all, see how you like them, and then after about a month, make your own. Fuck around with the ritual. The neophyte ritual that I wrote, that's intended to attune yourself to the current, the electromagnetic current of the Brotherhood of Light, is what it's called. It's like the primal will to do good in the world and evolve yourself to evolve the outside. That's the gist of it. That's what you got, like a microcosm and a macrocosm of everything. There's polarity within everything. So even within yeah, anyway, so the curriculum for Societas Acaphalos, you could be a beginner. In fact, I would like beginners. But you have to do the actual work. So, oh yeah, Vinny, I wanted to talk about homework. Homework. It's the only way I'll know if people are actually paying attention and reading the things that I tirelessly and relentlessly search and post in the group. You don't even have to buy the fucking books, guys. So, you don't even have to. I write chaotic style publications like the Equinox, but more chaotic, with just tons of crazy magical shit, magical information strewn about, intersped in between essays, articles, and poems. And the essays, articles, and poems all have deep, deep meanings. And I'm nothing special. I'm not some fucking guy that can do all this, that, and the third. Because you don't give a fuck about doing any real shit in the tangible physical universe. Uh, at a certain point, you just don't care. It doesn't. It's like it doesn't make any sense to put any energy into giving a fuck what's going on day to day, like hey, what's going on with politics? Like that is it becomes your favorite TV shows you will fucking hate. Your favorite movies you're not gonna find very enjoyable anymore. A lot of what's called the mundane shit that everybody else does in life, just getting along. You are already a misanthrope about life, probably to begin with, ostracized, whatever, outsider energy, because you're neurodivergent if you fucking actually want to look into this stuff. You have to have a touch of the crazy, a touch of the tism, to tirelessly focus upon shit that may or may not be real. You get to a point where you're like, oh yeah, this is all real. I'm not tripping. Okay. But to get to that point, it's different for everybody. Also, magic itself is about not lying to yourself, but being able to construct patterns of words in a way in which it doesn't give you any kind of like subconscious hesitance or polarity. I don't doubt myself anymore. I don't doubt my thoughts anymore, but it takes a while to get to that stage because by the time you get to the stage, you'll have experienced all the things that you once thought were like ridiculous. You will have experienced those things in tangible ways that come about organically. Uh, but it's like, but you manifested the changes through magic ritual in order for this shit to happen in the physical. When you've done that over and over and over with big shit too, it's not. You have to you have to be humble about it, knowing that it's not you doing it. You didn't create this current of action or power. You merely figured it out. Like I merely read a bunch of books, listened to a few people I like, uh, and then started. By some books I mean like 3,000 books. Went to university for theology, like tons of shit. Was a Buddhist for quite some time. Went to a fucking Buddhist temple for like a couple years while I was studying theology and philosophy. So I'm an extremist when it comes to this stuff, I know. But asking people to write like 3 sentences on a question I asked and something that I spent a lot of time writing, y'all in the group need to read. Ask questions about it. Because I'm not waxing philosophically. I'm not I don't think I'm the reincarnation of anybody. I don't think I'm the reincarnation of Aleister Crowley with weird poetry. I don't think that any of my works or texts would help the world by mass producing books about it. I write books by hand. For real, I write books by hand, pencil, paper, pen, and weed, and coffee. And up till now, those books are, they just, they're just, they go to people. People I meet, if I have a book I happen to be writing, there's no ending point and there's no beginning point with the books. It's just literally the same information over and over again, and in different ways that I could break it down for like an individual person. What I've started doing is writing books that go further into the mysteries of initiation. Initiation is a verb. It's not like a ritual that you do. Although that can be called an initiation. Initiation, though, when you hear about it in the occult for real, is an ongoing process of personal development. If you are not working on personal development, you're not working on anything. You're not working. People that don't want to basically people that don't want to do shit but like want to consume your content are vampires. It's just like people, it's just like the guy or the girl at your job that whenever you come in, there's always a bunch of drama coming on. Yeah, they need to get, it's called the law of equivalent exchange of energy, right? So I've done mad tarot readings for people where, I mean, it's a big song and dance. It's ritual work, and it's a ceremonial ritual invoking Thoth, and it's all these different crazy things, right? To do a tarot card reading. I do about an hour long ritual just to open it up. I've never charged for a tarot reading. And I do only one. It's called the 8 Obelisks of Thoth. The Oracle of the 8 Obelisks of Thoth. You put down 8 cards. So what I found was no one appreciated how in depth my readings went when they were just completely free, and like I would make a video explaining every single card in the reading, the story I'm getting. And these are people I don't even know. I've never met them. I just have a screen name and a picture of them. Because you have to energetically lock with someone somehow, some way. Pictures are the best on the internet. And then they tell me 8 numbers and I shuffle through the cards that many times, and they pick the cards too. It's not me picking the cards, it's them. It's all based on their electromagnetic frequency in their subconscious mind. And I know how to just tell you the story of what the cards say. And I would make a video breaking down what the cards are, what all the cards mean, how they relate to your story, where you're really fucking up at, what you need to do to become a better human being. And I don't do stuff about love. I don't do stuff about anything that, quite frankly, is not my business. I don't do love. I don't like to look into love. I don't like to look into money. Although all these things come up, I look at them very differently because I was trained in the art of tarot as a tool of meditation, whereupon the 78 cards are each a talisman of a bunch of different hieroglyphs. A hieroglyph speaks like 10,000 words. And then, you know, yeah. So when you have like a piece of art that has like a bunch of different hieroglyphs inside of them, every single color, every single the amount of leaves on on a single branch in the background of a tarot card is going to mean something. It's going to mean something. So then the tarot cards have historical significance attached to it, called egregores, or like beliefs that people have placed onto them that have cemented into consensus reality. Then you have the elemental breakdown of the cards. You have the zodiacal breakdown of the cards. Like, there's certain cards associated with the elements, certain cards associated with the zodiac, certain cards associated with the planets, certain cards associated with specific degrees of the zodiac called the decants, or the 12 signs of the 360-degree zodiac is made up of 30 degrees apiece. There's 12 30-degree angles in the 360-degree sky. And in these angles are constellations, and it's a belt that wraps around us above called the firmament. It's like a 360-degree belt like thing that is made up of constellations of stars, which are suns. Stars are suns. So every star you see out there has planets surrounding it and shit. Like, that's just so much energy, dude, that you have to have like a complicated breakdown of it. But you can really look at astrology and tarot as you could be a doctor at it. I learned something new every single day about tarot and astrology. It's a lot of energy in the sky, and it can be broken down. It can be broken down. And you can assume the powers of the cosmos through ceremonial ritual magic. You can bring down the forces, or banish the certain forces that are. You can ban, like, The a real horoscope is like the snapshot of the cosmic weather today lined up against your natal chart. Uh, but just looking at the cosmic weather report, you could just. I don't use astrology to divinate anything because it all becomes illusory at one point. Like I'm an Aquarius sun sign, and it's very obvious that I'm an Aquarius, probably to most people. It's pretty obvious there's something off with me. I'm in a whole other place, doing a whole other thing, and I don't even give a shit about what's going on with the outside external reality, what's popular, what's happening, what's cool. That's the Aquarius energy. It's always ahead of. It's the revolutionary energy. So, uh, yeah, like sun signs have like, it's going to encompass a lot of your outward projection of who you are outwardly. Not like being fake, it's just who you actually, you're a different person outwardly than the person you are to the inward self. Now, uh, making the inward self the outward self and killing the outward self, ego death, that's an art, and that's part of magic, high magic, spiritual alchemy. So yeah, I'm not asking for much. I'm not asking for fucking money. I'm not asking for. I'm asking for. If you're in my fucking group, I have a Telegram group where I have like 13 members in it now. Most are going away. And I'll be starting teaching something different where you invoke the holy guardian angel at the beginning of what's called the great work. The great work is like you can consider your entire life as a ritual. And the great work is becoming aware of the ritual happening and then directly influencing with your will, aligned with God's will or the divine will or the natural hermetic laws of the universe. You can't break the seven hermetic laws of the universe. They're the natural laws. They just are. You don't get a ticket if you break it because you can't break it. So knowing those, you can see where the divine is coming from. And so aligning your will with the divine will, which is called finding your true will, is a little more grounded in reality when you say it like that. Like, what is your ultimate goal? And does it align? Does it align with the natural principles of the universe? And you have to actually go out and sit in the woods once a month or something for like a weekend alone in the dark and listen. God speaks in the silence. The mysteries are taught in the silence. The external stimuli going from the Wi-Fi and the radio frequencies, the Wi-Fi frequencies, all this crazy chaos going on that's fucking just disturbing our brains. Fake lights, uh, just everything. How we wearing shoes, uh, fucking everything. Everything, dude, is bullshit. Designed for you to be a consumer and just buy things and just consume them. Yeah, we're consumers. We're all vampires. But you can really limit what you consume down to like almost nothing but nature, and just you do that for like 3 months, you will start to hear it's yourself, it's your thoughts, but your thoughts are so muffled and distorted in your household. You have to get the fuck out of your house and go out into nature alone to do that. And you meditate, which means you close your eyes, you focus on nothing, which is impossible because you'll have mind chatter from your subconscious. But you can stop that by asking your subconscious mind, just ask yourself without saying this out loud, what do you plan on thinking and saying next? The subconscious doesn't think, it operates with parameters in an algorithm, or yeah, an algorithm. You create this algorithm unconsciously for most of your life until someone comes along and tells you, do you realize that you have been unconscious your whole life, and that every thought and every word that you've ever said held a lot of like weight, and you've manifested most of the bad things in your life as well as the good? It's pretty powerful. I really don't have a reason to be here in this universe other than to teach this stuff. Yes, it manifests, but to teach this shit. It's both. Because you get to a point where, like, oh, there is no external world. But there is. It's called holographic. People call it the simulation or the matrix. But it's very, very real. It's not a video game. So like think of it as a video game. And you're the player behind the controller. That's called the observer. And your mind is not disciplined with meditation and exercises that attune the mind to perceive more and extend its electromagnetic frequency range and vibration and octave at the same time through ritual magic and yoga, the 8 limbs of yoga: meditation, mantra, mudras, uh, dhyana, which is like intense focus, dharana, which is like becoming the thing upon which you focus on. I forget it. But just meditation, sitting with your eyes closed, ask when your mind starts with the mind chatter, just say, what are you going to think next? subconscious mind does not think, it kind of trips the whole system up. And it's like, well, we don't think. What the fuck? What's going on? And you have to keep, and then it'll start, like about 2 minutes later. Just keep asking it. What are you going to think next? It will shut the fuck up. I swear to Christ. And after a while, you'll start to notice, whoa, I'm in complete silence. So, in tandem with that complete focus on no thing and breath work, meaning alternate nostril breathing and the fourfold breath, which is called pranayama. Box breathing, breathing in for 4 seconds, holding the breath for 4 seconds, breathing out for 4 seconds. On the out breath, holding that out breath for 4 seconds before you inhale again for 4 seconds and hold for 4 seconds and then breathe out for 4. You keep that going for about 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. And if you do that 5 to 10 minutes every day, you will, within like a year, have developed a really good meditative mind, because what it cultivates in tangible reality is a perception that you are the observer, not the body that's having the experience, not even the mind, the observer behind that. So you also cultivate a stoic philosophy too. My best friend of like many years, I'm 37. We met each other in the first day of ninth grade. We're the only goth kids in the school we went to. He committed suicide. He was like a crazy drug addict and shit at the end of his life, man. And he killed himself. And it hasn't destroyed my world, where it might have. Like 5, 6, 7 years ago. That might have really put me in a bad spot, a bad place, and I would have been like, oh, Jesus. And I can differentiate my feelings as a human being and feel those feelings and let myself have that, but know when to cut it off and stop the bullshit. Because there's work to be done. You know? Like, we cry. We cry because it is a purification ritual that your body does naturally. It's a biological ritual of cleansing. Water, whenever you see water, it means cleansing with the deep, deep unconscious love and forever knowing wisdom of God, basically. When you leak water out of your eyes, or salt water as it were, that's holy water. And the intention behind it is such that it has caused such an emotional reaction. Emotions spark your thoughts, your motivations, everything. So you have to have control of your control of your emotions if you want to have control of your motivations and your id or shadow. You have to have control of your emotions, but your emotions inform most things on a subconscious level. You have really no awareness of this. But yeah. Anyways, I have to clean my temple a bit and go see my girlfriend and shit. light that joint. I wish it was a joint. It was I rolled a cigarette. I used raw papers to roll a cigarette. Cigarettes are like $9 a pack. You're in so much shock. About what? Oh, sorry. Dr. Vasily Khabib Kuznetsov, fuck you. Or did you not know that I knew Russian? Life is intense. It's gotta be. And it's gotta be life is painful. It's nothing but the first principle, the first law of the Buddha. Principle or whatever the fuck he says. And it is that way. We are in constant sorrow and pain because we are always looking for the next thing because we are vampires. We're consumers. Whether that be an experience, whether that be a cigarette, whether that be a fucking whatever, a shower, you're always looking forward to the next thing to consume. So what makes you grow? Consuming makes you comfortable. What makes you change and grow? Pain. It's the only way. It's the death card. People don't like seeing the death card and the tower card and the tarot. And it's like, dude, that kind of shit's happening all the time. Your life is constantly crumbling and you're trying to build it back up. You're never going to be whole. Your life's always going to be a complete mess. You got to accept that. You got to accept that life itself, the human personality, is always going to be a fucking mess. You can work on it. You can change it absolutely. But you have to have self-acceptance for who you are. And that even includes the things that... I curse. It's in my lexicon of language. Instead of saying I'll say fuck or something. I don't. It's such a part of my own lexicon of language that I don't even notice when I'm doing it. I don't even notice when I have cursed, and I'm in the polite company of some sort, and I'll look like a fucking maniac. I accept that about myself, though. I will never work at a corporate job where I have to be Mr. fucking this or that, or have to... I will never do anything where I have to censor my words. Because it's all I have. It's all you got. It's all you have. Your body, you're renting your body until it decays back into its original elemental form. So, all you have is your thoughts. I accept that about myself, that I'm a fucking scumbag and I have no consideration about other people with the way I talk. I accept that about myself and I love that about myself. I don't care that it hurts other people. That's called real shadow working. understanding something about yourself and just saying, yeah, that's me. Don't bullshit people. If you don't feel shit about crazy shit that you do, fucking don't go around calling everybody a sociopath and a narcissist when you're the sociopath and narcissist, you see? Don't go around bullshitting people unless it's like for some kind of gain. Unless you can gain something from it, don't lie to people. Just fucking be honest with people. It'll change their day. I guarantee you. I have a lot of friends that come out here with me, or a couple of them, so I don't know which one you're specifically referring to, but oh, Adam. Yes, Adam. I saw. Is he a fat fellow? Or whatever politically. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's my friend Adam. He was like my first like occult student, I guess you would want to say. He lived in Florida, and I was like, I learned all this shit by myself, on my own. I went and lived in a trailer my aunt owned in the woods for 5 years. And I mastered many techniques of yoga and magic. Then I came back into the world of this place and saw that occultism had like exploded and become like popular because I didn't talk to anybody while I was away. It was a 5-year like solitude. What up, nigga? So it was a 5-year point in time where it was amazing. I'm my own best friend. I love myself. I found out that I didn't. That's what stirred me to change. I'm from Southwest Florida, Cape Coral, Fort Myers. Like where Miami is, on the other coast of that in Florida. But yeah, my friend Adam, I guess he saw something on social media that I had posted. And then he saw some videos that I had posted. Turkey, what's up, man? I'm friends with so many people from like Egypt, Africa, fucking Iran, Turkey, like it's awesome, man. But yeah, Adam, he lives in the same state that I do. He lives about 3 hours away, and I had no idea who he was, but he was like, he hit me up like, "Hey man, you live in Florida?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Is there a way I could come learn magic with you?" Like I was some wizard that teaches magic and shit, and I was like, "I guess, yeah. Here's my address." Yeah. And to my astonishment, he showed up, and he was like a really down-to-earth dude. Followed instruction and doesn't continue to follow instruction, but fucking he's still stuck at the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. But that's okay. lot of people get into this bullshit. Left-hand path? No, not at all. No, he's well, I say the left-hand path and the right-hand path thing, there's, I guess, degrees. So the stuff that I do, you could consider left-hand path, because anything that's outside of like giving everything up to God and just having faith that it all works out, but not really having a real conscious and open connection with the source of everything that is, and the source of all the building blocks of everything that is, consciousness itself. That's a different thing. And to get there, you don't get there through religious hustlers at Baptist churches or, you know, all these different things. You're not going to get any esoteric truths except from the esoteric, which means the inner. You're not going to find out any esoteric truths from the external world. You could join 1,000 orders. So what I mean to say is, when you take things into your own hands and you start doing, like, I'm part of the lineage of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn and the Astrum Argenteum that Aleister Crowley and George Cecil B. Jones started. The original Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. I'm a student of the Kabbalistic Order of the Builders of the Adytum. Dr. Paul Foster Case started that. That's a Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn offshoot with Enochian taken out of it. A lot of ritual work taken out of it. And it kind of just focuses on Hermetic Kabbalah, like Tree of Life stuff, and the tarot. Like, you have to, one of your first things you do is color your own tarot. You get a black and white deck that Dr. Paul Foster Case made in like 1923. It's of the Rider-Waite variety, but they're like blank. They're black and white, and you're supposed to color them in. And with this, in every card you're supposed to spend 3 days on. It's a ritual. It's a long ass ritual, because on the first day you're supposed to focus on just like one part of the card, like the surface level divinatory meaning, then the second level of the esoteric meanings and all the correspondences, and then the third part is you actually reading a document called Sound and Color that breaks down like what, yes, focus. Well, it's programming the subconscious mind. This dude was born in like 1860 or some shit like that. Paul Foster Case. He made the Builders of the Adytum in 1923. So before that, he was part of the original Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn that like Crowley was in, McGregor Mathers, all those people. He was in that. He was like a Master Mason. He was a 32nd degree Scotch Rite Mason. he was involved in all types of esoteric studies in the later part of the 1800s, then going into the early 1900s. And then by 1923, he had accumulated enough wisdom and funds and friends to. There's only one temple. It's in Los Angeles, California. There's offshoots that hold like rituals regionally, but there's only one like official temple, and it's a solo practicing thing. It would be fun to visit though, absolutely, dude. But I would not go to Los Angeles if it cured my herpes. It's like calling a really tall guy tiny. It's called the Angels, the City of Angels. Los Angeles is the City of Angels. And it's filled with nothing but demons. I love it. I fucking love it, man. It's awesome, actually. It's pretty fucking funny. Something else I was thinking about. I have to write this down. I have to remember this. People you see that are really off, and you'll see this, it's in their eyes. Like, I see people's aura through their eyes somehow. I don't know how that works, but I just see what they're all about and kind of like see what they're made out of and like where they're operating from just by looking into someone's eyes really quick too. That was a ability that was like a fucking ability unlocked like 6 months ago. So this is like an actual magical journey. Magical things happen. Gain abilities and shit. But none of it compares to the actual ritual of the great work, which is what Jung called self-individuation, which is like understanding who you are, individuating yourself from the pack, but then also understand, like you have to be dual-minded, which creates one mind. You have to have both things existing at the same time and swirling around each other, dude. Two things can be true at the same time. Two things that seem like they contradict each other are often of the same ilk, the same elements and likeness. It's the same thing with different perspectives put on them. Those are called polarities. What's chaos for the fly is absolute bliss for the scorpion. You lock him inside of a cage. Right or wrong? Or how, what's his name? Sadhguru says, what does he say? Is it not? Or fucking something like that. He says something funny. Cage is comfortable to me these days. Too much world for me. Yeah, because there's fucking, everybody's broke and there's nothing to do. Yeah, we're living in a crazy Great Depression. I don't know. I don't know the future, man, but fucking, I don't really care about the future either, because it doesn't exist. There's only the here and the now, baby. Woo. And that is true. Like all the platitudes that you just like kind of scoff at, and yeah, some cutesy shit that some faggot made up. No, it's not. Things become redundant and cliche, and everybody starts saying the same shit because we're all this. We are all one. For instance, I used to hear like, I love psychedelics. I don't like psychedelic people. We are all one, man. Shut the fuck up, dude. You don't know what that means except when you're on 12 hits of acid, dog. If you can't internalize and individuate yourself from a certain culture and see what something is for what it is based on you and your own interpretation, you'll be following people and trying to be cool and be in the cool kids club your whole life. Or shut down because you'll never be in the cool kids club and that makes you upset. But there is no cool kids club. Everybody's lying to each other, and in that cool kids club, it's not so cool. And it's all like the grass is always greener. You've heard that. But when you get to the other side, it was an optical illusion. And God laughs. Because where you're at is like where you're supposed to be. According to it I go off of intuition when I hear strange things, or maybe things that you have to think about a little deeper. Does it resonate as true with me? And a lot of shit does not. But I read in Frater UD's High Magic, Volume 2. I read it in there. He goes into shamanism, what occultism is based off of. The foundation is shamanistic tribal cultures. And the Hierophant would be 1 to 3 or 4 people. And that'd be the shaman, the person that was crazy or neurodivergent in some way. You can spot it basically from very, very early childhood. If like once a child is supposed to be able to talk and they can't, or any developments that they're not developing, means that their mind isn't developing in some way. And or their mind is developed and they can't express to you how their way is their way. Let them try it. That's why that's why we let kids explore shit, and why everybody should explore things. Get out into nature, explore your fucking community. But through exploration, you find your own truths. So anyways, they would be picked from basically infancy and go through many, many, many ordeals of being a hierophant or priest or magi, whatever you want to say. It's all the same words for the same shit. A rabbi, a fucking imam, a goddamn pope, a hierophant, a grand high priest, a fucking magus, a magister templi, an ipsissimus, all those things. I mean, someone that is aware of a realm outside of themselves that exists you cannot see with your bare eyes, but you have other senses that go past the five senses that are real biological senses. Most things are not magical. In fact, I don't believe anything is magical. I think that everything is already set up to be perfect in a cycle. So if you look at things as cycles, you begin to see history playing out. You'll begin to see what the point in studying history is. What is the point? You don't need to know mathematics or history, geometry. You don't need to know where fucking the Giza pyramids are. You don't need to know any of that shit. You don't need to know where Arkansas is on a map. You don't need to know any of that shit. I don't think that the curriculum that people are fed in America, at least in the South, the education system is complete and utter horseshit. It's. I noticed when I was in 7th grade that the curriculum, or not, I noticed in 10th grade that the curriculum hadn't changed since the 7th grade. And that was fucking hilarious to me. And fucking crazy as well, because I was beginning to wake up to the lie that if you worked hard and you went to college, and also you have to work while you're doing that, and you gotta fucking be working always and trying to work towards this thing that is supposed to come but doesn't ever come, you miss out on everything, dude. You miss out on everything. When you think that you're working towards something, you're not, dude. You're in that, on whatever plans I got, I don't have any plans. God laughs at your plans, dude, and so should you. Have a general rough outline. The past doesn't exist. There's repercussions from the past that can come up and create new events. But the past, it doesn't exist. As far as you are aware. So, being in the infinite now, or what's called having mindfulness, being aware and conscious at all times of where you're at, like internally, just everything on every level. Acquiring the adeptship to bring that all into like a cohesive person that can like explain it, not so easy. Also, people are selfish and they hoard things. Shit that I talk about is just shit that honestly interests me. It's the only thing that I really care about. Because it's the mechanical nature of the universe. I don't know, studying that is pretty dope, I think. I don't want to be a rich man. I don't want to be a wealthy man. I don't want to have 50 bitches and 20,000 cars, 16 homes and all that. I don't want to own stock in every fucking cool company, and I don't want to be getting my dick sucked and doing fucking rails of methamphetamine. You know what I mean? Like at a fucking uh, Illuminati party, dude. Like none of that sounds cool to me. I don't give a shit about. I guess genuinely almost don't care about anything. Genuinely. And so what I do here is I talk about the things that I think about, and that if I'm doing magical ritual, I'm reading a book, or I'm writing a book, or whatever, or I'm on here, or I'm watching other YouTubers of all different varieties. Occultism encompasses everything because there's an esoteric inner hidden occult hidden from the view. There's an occult nature of things, and then there's the exoteric surface level of a subject. And YouTube is a really cool platform for transferring the knowledge and information of something quickly and esoteric is okay, but he's not an actual practitioner, man. So he's just an academic of grimoires, and that's cool. I used to be such as well. Uh, but he doesn't have the experience, I guess. Yeah, he doesn't have the experience of actually putting the grimoires into practice. Um, I really respect it. I really respect his channel for what it is though, which is academic occult research on mostly like new books that are coming out, but mostly old grimoires, and that's awesome. The old grimoires are tremendous, and academic study absolutely needs to be done on that. Practitioners, uh, Damien Eccles for sure. Me, I got tons of crazy shit on my stuff. Here's the thing. Uh, I do this all off of a phone. I don't have a computer. Takes like a long time to upload videos and shit. And I don't do it. I don't make I don't think about even what I'm gonna say before I press go live. And I just use lives because they immediately transfer into the YouTube whatever database. So, having said that, I say that this my channel and Damien Eccles' YouTube channel, you have to go to the live tab. Like there's tabs, like you have to go to the person's channel, the real channel, and then click on the tab that says live. You'll think like the person has like no videos. You click the live tab and it's like a fucking 1,000 videos, dude. So just have that in mind, not for me, but for Damien Eccles, because Damien Eccles is the guy that I learned. I learned actually what you're doing in the lesser banishing ritual, the pentagram. I had to understand that before I could like practice it. It was this mental block that I needed to understand in layman's terms, but coming from a place of like Buddhism and energy work and shit, which is my background, Zen Buddhism. Uh, Damien Eccles' background, Zen Buddhism. He talks very plainly. He's a master because he can boil very tremendously, impossibly deep topics down into it's prima materia, or it's like the substance of substance, and give it to you raw and cut out the fucking cut. Basically, that's Damien Eccles. And then shit. Who else do I follow on here? Glitch Bottle is good. It's a podcast with a bunch of different practitioners of all types of stuff. Thing is, dude, Lexi Eve, yeah, Coy. Hey, Lexi, thank you, Coy. Lexi fucking Eve, dude. Uh, like, I started doing this invocation of Thoth many years ago, and I was doing it like how Aleister Crowley did it, and he took the Golden Dawn's manuscript of what was called Liber Israfel, and it's an invocation of a couple different Egyptian deities, but it's mainly Thoth, because Thoth is all the deities combined together into one, like, program that has it's the scribe of the gods. It like scribes down it's like the subconscious, collective unconscious of all the gods of the pantheon in Egypt, I guess. And here's why I have a YouTube channel. I saw no one was going past the LBRP and showing how to do the things. Some people did the lesser hexagrams, maybe a middle pillar, but nothing past that. Probably behind a paywall or some bullshit, but on just regular YouTube, nah, ain't finding it. So I did that. I started making videos of me, and also I didn't see anyone physically practicing the shit, just waxing philosophical about it all. So I started physically doing this shit. So I do a knowledge lecture on something, and then I'll physically do it. That's how because I just figured out like what I didn't like about the whole occultosphere, and did something about it. But also the way I do my YouTubes is like I don't edit anything. I don't think about what I'm gonna say before I do it live. And if you need it into a neat, nice little package, or a 90-second short, or a 60-second short, or a 30-second short, fuck you. I don't care. I don't want you watching this channel because it's not for you. It's only really for people that it resonates with. It's not going to resonate with everybody. And also, what else I was going to say is everybody puts their shit behind paywalls. And courses and paywalls and all that shit are bullshit. They're ridiculous. It's fucking crazy. Because it's all the same information. No one's saying anything new. No one. So, I don't know. That's another reason why I hopped on YouTube. But Lexi Eve was the first person that I saw have an actual, real ritual with history from a manuscript from the 1700s, at the very least. The 1700s in like Bavaria is where this manuscript came from. A man named Alan Bennett had it. He was already an adept when Crowley joined the order. He was destitute and pretty much homeless. Crowley had like he had a whole top floor of apartments to himself. So he let Alan Bennett stay with him, and you can't trade money for magical lesson in the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Well, you could certainly trade lodging, drugs, food, women, liquor, whatever. Just not money. And that's how Crowley rose the ranks real quick, because Alan Bennett had constructed and wrote most of the rituals past, like, I don't know, fucking Zealot. Uh, yeah. Anyways, it's all people trying to make money off of stuff they barely know anything about. Like really, really don't know much about. And if they do, it's only at the academic level. It's not at the experiential level. At the experiential level, it's going to be like behind paywalls. The people are going to be trying to, every fucking video is going to be about their class. It's going to be AI generated audio. The whole script, it's going to be a scripted thing. It's going to be a script generated by AI. It's people taking the humanity out of everything and trying to monetize and like fucking be content creators and all this bullshit, dude. It's ridiculous, man. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. Look at Boogie 2992980, whatever. Millions of dollars, but like a lot of money. Like more than enough fuck you money to say fuck you 10,000 times. And he put it all into like fucking meme coins and shit coins and whatever the fuck people do. And he lost all his money that way. And now he goes and he goes online and he e-begs. But at one point, he was YouTube's biggest, one, maybe second in line, one, like top 5 of YouTube's biggest generators of ad revenue from AdSense. So if you think that like you're gonna create a life by learning occultism and then teaching it online, or you think that you're gonna find a lot of like good occult teachers online, I'm not a teacher, I just talk about shit. I'm an instructor on magical ritual, but I'm not a teacher, because I'm not any wiser or better than anybody else. I just hyper focus on a certain subject, and I'm fucking completely encapsulated by it. It's my thing. And I'm bored as shit, so I make content because I'm a content creator. I'm an influencer. That's fucking crazy talk. That's seriously, think about those words. It's sellout, soulless corporate bullshit, dude. But you'll see, you'll start to see more and more people like just like our monetary system is not very good. It's like it was unstable to be fucking, I don't know, man. I know how to survive, dude. When I was living in the woods, I had a car. Every single day, I would hit a different place, just so I wouldn't go in like twice, like back to back date, like one day and then the next day, and I would fucking take a bunch of shit and just walk out. You could just fucking shoplift all over the place, dude. Uh, you can, now if you get caught, it's a different story. So don't get caught. don't park your car in the parking lot of the place you're robbing. They'll get your license plate number. Your license plate number is connected to your ID card. But yeah, like that's like, I barely make any money, and I'm kind of all right. I know that people are not doing well in the economy. And what goes when we go through a depression? Entertainment goes out the window. So all these people that you have Patreon subscriptions to, all of a sudden those people, their cards are bouncing, and like they're not paying their shit, and they're fucking blah blah blah. You're gonna see it happen more and more, and you're gonna start seeing more and more people act like fucking entitled little faggots because they were once doing millionaires, didn't know how to manage their money, and now YouTube is a job for these people, like a real grind job for these people. You see it with everybody. Most of the put together channels is a job, man. It's not supposed to be a job. And if you know something about something, you don't need a PowerPoint presentation or a script or AI. You don't need any of that shit. It takes all the soul out of it. It's just fucking stupid to me. So my channel, it's me rambling like a madman, and then like you'll find out how to do tons of shit, but you have to like sit there and listen to me talk about other things because I have like fucking, I don't know, ADD and shit, and fucking I'll bounce around to about 14 different topics, and then I'll bring it back around with a loop and tell you why it's, you know, you'll understand why I told you all those 14 different things, because I'm going somewhere, but I'm doing it my way. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say, okay, we got 14 points here. Here's the main thing, because the main thing could change, because I'm not fucking thinking about what I'm going to say in the next fucking 10 seconds or 5 seconds. I have no idea. I don't have a script. People that do don't sound more professional, they sound more robotic. Damien Eccles, why I like Damien Eccles, is because I do my shit exactly the way he does his. He presses go live on his phone. So I thought that approach was novel, because everything is so commercialized, and it's marketing and SEO and all this bullshit, dude. You guys like see like fucking, have you motherfuckers noticed, like if you go onto your social media page, like it's every social media page is trying to get you to buy, like it's free, like even, and then it starts, actually it's not free. It's not, it's to make your profiles professional profiles. Then you have the unlocked ability to pay them like a substantial amount of money for ads. Which is, I mean, it's, ads are good if you got a good product to sell, but I'm not really selling anything. And the thing is that with people that aren't really selling anything, they're not viewed as valuable. I deleted most of my videos, but I had up to like 500-600 videos at one time, and I explained how to get from a complete fucking novice that knows not even what witchcraft is to adept level ritual magic. Every step, every ritual, every subject. In detail. Because I lived it. And then when I started to like think about like, well, I was like, huh, I'm getting programmed here. I know this because all these social media programs are trying to push me into having professional profiles, which is insane. If you're not like, if you don't have like a business, everybody's an entrepreneur though. You got to remember that. I looked into it and I was like, this is soulless shit, man. I never buy a copy of anyone's book. I steal that shit off of the web. And if it's different, if it doesn't start off with the LBRP, I'm kind of drawn into it. And I might buy the physical copy if it's actually good. But like fucking, there is so much slop out there. Do not spend money on actual physical tangible books. Like, fuck, man. Koi, there's a project, an assignment in the Telegram. Check it out when you got time before next Friday. I guess that's all. So I'll talk to you guys later. Go in peace with Christ.